10 seconds.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the View from the Dead Box. We're back. We are 2 weeks out from, or 2 weeks from Cup. Sorry.
Yep, 2 weeks
We
after
are
Cup.
officially, actually, I did not think we were going to have practices so soon, and we are already back at it.
I kind of agree with you. They're not like full-fledged practices, but they're good. Good. I mean,
They're good turnouts.
They're good turnouts. Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like, it's nice to mix in with some other people we don't normally mix in with. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
we're getting
think
from
having the
D6 to D2, really, skill-wise.
Yeah,
so.
I think having the field like complete is definitely such a huge benefactor now that people want to show up and want to like play on the field, and that just brings in different levels of talent and it helps everybody out.
Yep, absolutely. I mean,
great.
Last 2 weekends, I didn't come out the first weekend after Cup. I was away on vacation, but yesterday, last Sunday, there was probably 25, 30 people out there. Like, and that was probably 10 of our guys, and then everybody else was walk-ons wanting to play speedball.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's all skill levels. We're getting some kids just learning. I don't know, one of the kids' names, he was using our call-outs, and I was like, oh, I think it was you standing up there with me. You were like, watch this kid. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, he's calling our call-outs, and it's the correct bunkers.
It's crazy, man, because there's two, like 3 or 4, actually, but 2 that I know of that I've never seen before other than like one weekend that have natural, like probably athletic ability that probably play other sports, but their communication level of those players just by standing on the sidelines and watching 1 week have learned the calls of the bunkers, which is very funny because I have not approached them and given them the calls.
Yep.
And they've only like watched us call the bunkers, and I'm assuming they're watching us shoot the bunkers and then call them.
Yeah.
But it's just so crazy to watch these kids come up and just watch us play and then want to play and then go out there and then like mimic like what they see. And I wish.
Oh, absolutely.
I wish we would have had that. Like we grew up playing. I mean, I say we grew up. You were growing up when I was like trying to through the struggle.
Yep.
So at least you guys got mentored a little bit. Like some of us, like me and Graydon and Powell and those guys, didn't really have anything.
Yep.
We're just like winging shit in the, like literally I say winging it in the backyard. You came along in that time, but
about 2006 is when I was out there relatively regularly. Right. At minimum once a month at that point in time. But
prior to that, we were playing on like pallet boards and like little itty bitty plywood sheets that we made into a speedball field prior to having an airball field, and that's what we learned on, and that's all we had. So we were playing like 2-on-2 and 3-on-3, like that's literally all we had at the time. But it's crazy to see what it's became now. And those kids, I don't want to say they have advantage, but it definitely is. We didn't have the internet like that back then where we can just go on and watch 57 dirt videos and like Yosh videos and always kind of like watch these guys play and like learn from them. We didn't have that. We had to wait and like watch 300, which is like dog shit. Back then it was awesome to watch.
Oh,
right? Yeah. We didn't have it. Like the technology at the fingertips of the kids nowadays. Like there's digital school, there's all kinds of stuff that like I think Oliver Lang has his own school now.
He has something he does.
BKI, which is like Ryan, Marcelo, it's a whole bunch of players actually. I think it's like 15 players that do their own skits and side stuff on there, which is I've never looked on there. I've seen people look at that site, and I've only been on there for like Guns Up because I think they're linked somehow.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the only reason I've been on there too. Other than I looked it up and I was like, oh, what is this? Read about it, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but
yeah, I definitely need to check it out. Even I'm sure I can learn some stuff from.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
As funny as it is, like as long as I am, I'm sure there's stuff on there that I don't either I know what they're talking about, or I say I could do it better than how they think I think they're doing it.
Yeah.
Not saying that I can, but I think that I can. But maybe I need to look at the way they're doing it and go, oh, well, hold on, that makes a lot more sense. Like I should be doing that. That's why they're doing it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
but that's like anything. Every time I teach someone, like I show them my way of doing something, and then it's a modified version of probably what you have showed me or somebody else, and it's close, but it's a little different because I need to do this to make it work for me. And then with all the players, I try to show them, I'm like, take what I show you and go, okay, I'm going to use 90% of that information because just a little bit of that does not work for me or I'm not comfortable doing it. As long as you
Yeah.
do most of the basics, you can modify your own little bit of techniques here and there. And then, like I said, it gives anyone their own little bit of paintball style.
Like,
So,
I know we always joke around about Jamie being terrible at diving
oh, yeah.
and just taking abuse to his body. And I watched a few, like I sat out a few points this week to kind of see how some of you bums are playing. And I watched 2 points, well, 1 point mainly, but 2 points from him were just making small bumps from like God to home to God, and then home to fire, fire to ice. And both times he made like huge dives into them.
Oh, yeah.
But I critiqued his dives both times, and he knows, and he's smart enough to know what he's doing wrong. But it's a muscle memory at this point where he doesn't like lay down and dive slide. He like jumps from where he's standing, and then and we talked about it through text yesterday actually. And I said, man, you're gonna hurt yourself, and you're like, I had an issue. Even I feel that as much as I dive every point, and then if I'm taking a 200 on the break or the 300 on the break, I feel like I've got my dive really smooth.
Yep.
I still break paint in my hopper if we're shooting fragile paint.
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm breaking paint in my hopper, I know that motherfucker's breaking paint in his hopper.
Yes. I mean, he breaks triggers diving.
Yes, he has broken his trigger off. So we'll try to explain it to you. He puts his finger behind his trigger when he dives for whatever reason. And then when he dives, the momentum of his like body and their hands and everything, I'm assuming just moves and snatches the trigger forward and broke it in half, and literally had a brand new Ripper X. We all bought Ripper X's to start the season out. He broke his trigger in half, like snapped the bottom of it right off.
Probably 3 months in or something.
Yeah, well, we were at Cup, and he was like, "Hey, can you replace this? It's like cracked." The next one, and he's like, "Yeah, cool." Switch it out, put a new trigger in there, and this one now is already starting to crack again. He's very, very, very harsh on his gear, and I think that like it's all those dives of diving and landing hard, and I think that's a lot of. And I know he hurt his hip early this season and played through the injury, but it's from him diving. He's diving so high and landing. You got a 200-pound man diving 2.5, 3 feet off the ground, because what we think he's doing is what we were talking about is, let's say there's a 4 foot. He dives 4 foot early, right?
Yeah.
Instead of laying down and stretching your body and sliding and making the 4 foot, what he does is he jumps and leaps for the 4 foot. So he clears the 4 foot in air while he's full sprint, and then it hits the ground instead of running and then
kind of like laying down. Yeah, I mean, I don't it's not laying down, but
no, it is
getting low then diving
running
in. Yeah,
which is how I do it. Yeah, and I've noticed just by doing that, I don't take any damage to my body. Like I can do that for 30. I mean, I literally have done it we're in Jacksonville, Carolina. That event we won. I literally went to the 300 on the break like 15 times out of like 36 points. I went there almost 50% of the time, and I dove every single time going in. And at the end of the event, I wasn't like banged up. My arms weren't swollen. I wasn't like beat up, because it was like no abuse to my body and how I was diving. Like if we would have had him taking 15 dives off break, going to the,
he'd be broken.
He would have been done. Yeah, just because the abuse that he throws his body through, which is a hell of a player to like go out and endure that every single time he makes a bump, because he knows he has to dive into the bunker. But I'm gonna have to work with him on the side, and we're just gonna drill muscle memory just to like do a smooth dive transition. And I think a lot of players overlook that, like the small things like diving and sliding, and it's funny as it is, but now with this turf and stuff, we can begin to dive and slide. But I say that when I was teaching my wife Courtney how to play, we would go in the rec field, and there's a big patch of grass with a little bit of downhill slope to it, and she seen me diving, and she wanted to learn how to dive, and which is great, because she was a college ball player her whole life. So like I say her whole life, she played ball her whole life and then played college as well. And she's used to hip sliding, and that's what she's diving. She already had that down, but diving with gear on and keeping a gun off the ground is a huge big difference, right? So she didn't have any of those bad tendencies. So I walked over there, worked with her like 2 or 3 weekends, like 20 dives per weekend, and then now she's like diving relatively easy into her bunkers. So I want to see how bad it's going to be to train him because he has taught himself
That's going to be
very,
a
very
rough one.
bad muscle memory. And, and I think it works with anybody. When you try to teach somebody how to snap shoot, and I watch these guys that have been playing for 5 or 10 years and they snap shoot. And I'm like, damn, that's fucking terrible. Like, why are you doing it that way? You could be doing it this way. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's a lot easier. And then you see him like 20 snapshots later and he like fades back into his bad habits again. So
you were talking about the diving. That's something me and Jamie used to do back at the house. I would, because we obviously at your dad's field, we didn't have a lot of grass. It was always sand. It was all sand. So you couldn't really hip slide, and you rarely dove just because of you would hit the ground and stick into it. So we would take 2 chairs and set them up and almost run like suicides, and we'd hip slide to the right, hip slide to the left. We'd do those, and then we'd turn into like just running forward, diving in, running forward and diving in. We used to do that after practice. That was something me and him did. We'd come back to the house after playing on a Saturday or Sunday and just run those reps for 30 minutes to an hour in full gear before we had like cleaned up and everything. And I don't dive as much as I used to, but I'm like, it might not look the best, but it gets me in there and I don't break shit.
Yeah.
I try to just hip slide. I'm like, just go to my left, go to my right. And if I have to go forward, I'm like, fuck.
Mr. Terry's outside. Why are you guys tearing up my damn grass?
Oh, yeah. He probably was too.
Goddamn kids.
I mean, one time me and Jamie knocked a hole in the wall doing it inside the house. It was right before going to...
Is that the one you said that your parents were out like shopping and
yes,
you guys blew a hole through? I'll let you explain. I've never heard this story before.
Yeah, so their couch was like lined up against the wall and they were coming back from shopping and then they were going to take us to your dad's field to practice for the day or play or something. So me and him were just like running these loops in the kitchen where we'd run like a circle and then dive onto the couch, run a circle and like jump over the armrest, dive onto the couch, doing it. And like we were pushing the couch little by little closer and closer, like to the wall. And finally, I don't know who did it. I can't remember, but one of us dove. It was probably me. I'll go ahead and take the blame for it since Dad's listening to the podcast. I dive onto the couch and it pushes that son of a bitch. And it made that drywall pop, just poof. And I was like, fuck. So Jamie, me and him looked at it, and it was a big hole. It was probably 8 to 12 inches. I mean, it was massive. And I was like, fuck, how are we going to fix that? And Jamie was like, well, he goes, this is like 15-year-old kid thinking. We were like, we'll just get a bunch of putty and pound all that in there and then be good and paint it over or whatever. And I was like, but I'm not going to say shit now because I didn't want to get in trouble before paintball practice because they would be like, you're not going.
You can't go.
So I just was like, you know what? I don't think Dad will notice. Let's just push the couch into the wall, to cover it. And we won't notice that a portion of the couch is just tucked into the wall. So he didn't. We went and played all day. When I came home, I was like, hey, just so you know, I knocked a big fucking hole in the wall. He looked at it. He was like, well, he goes, I guess I got to fix it. He goes, you ain't ever broke shit around here before, so I'll handle this one. I was like, for you. And that guy actually fixed it properly just by cutting the drywall out and putting all the new piece in and then putty in the cracks and put it in. But me and Jamie were like, we'll just putty the whole fucking piece. Like, why not? I kind of would have liked to know, like, if we could have actually done it and got away with it, but we didn't. Probably not. It probably would have looked like shit. But
yeah, it'll be like those cars. Sorry, I'm like eating.
No, you're good.
It'll be like those cars you see on the Retro Mod, like Discovery Channel, like a '56 Bel Air, 100% restored, and it goes to like some guy who really does it. And then he's like shaving the car down to like bare metal to redo it all. And then he's like scraping like inches of Bondo off. He's like, what is this?
That's exactly. Someone would be like, what fucking dumb kids fixed this piece of shit?
That's like when people like I say old people, they had a really bad thing I see in houses when we're doing remodels all the time. They put floors on top of floors.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they're done with the hardwood floors, some of the older people will just lay laminate back on top of the hardwood floors, or the new style like lock tile kind of stuff. They put that on top of already glued down hardwood floors. So I'm like, why is there fucking 3 layers of floor here?
Yep.
And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And then found out they just didn't want to rip the floor up. Same way, just keep putting shit on top of shit.
Hell yeah.
Keep putting it on top there.
Just hide shit. That's actually Dad's floors here in the living room. He tiled them, and he was like, "I'm not busting that tile up." So when Lowe's came in and laid those snap boards, they're like, "We can go over the tile, but so like if you walk through the kitchen to like where all the bedrooms are, it's like an inch higher in the front. So that we've had like my cousin, he's been running through and catch it with his toe, and I'm telling you, like fucking face down. Poof! We're like, oh shit, Jackson broke an arm. Like just the way he hit, it's just like from standing to flat on his face, and he's done it multiple times.
God,
Wild.
yeah, we see that. That literally, I see houses that have like crazy, crazy expensive, like old traditional, like
Yeah.
Savannah downtown. Like probably, I bet there's floors in the house that are
100 years old.
$20,000.
Yeah.
Instead of getting them like redone, and making the house worth $1 billion, they just like throw laminate on top of it. I'm like, why did you just put laminate, like
Yeah.
cheap, like the thin, like roll
In a
out
$500,000
laminate?
home.
I'm like, yes. I'm like, why did you just cover hardwood floors with laminate?
Some people, man.
God. So my topic is,
I know we're letting you go first this time.
yeah,
I was kind of lazy.
What do you feel that every team should do in the off season to prepare themselves for the next season coming up, right? So, some people take off a month, right after Cup. Some people, a lot like camps, take off like 1 week and they get right back at it. And what do you feel is the proper way of an organization handling itself after Cup to prepare for like the next season?
I think you need to do a combination of both. I don't necessarily know if you need to be out there drilling and practicing. I mean, obviously, there's no such thing as like too much practice. That's not what I mean. But I'm talking about more doing drills or running with the same people. I think you just need to play. Like if you play at a place that has like enough players to have 30 players and you have your team, so you got 30, 40-ish players that just kind of mix up who you're playing with. And I wasn't out here 2 weeks ago, but yesterday, that seems to be like what we were doing. We were pretty much playing a mix. I mean, I played with two kids that they had only played speedball twice, and then I played a point or two with you, some with Jamie. I played one with one of the guys from Charleston. We were just mixing it up. So I had fun. I mean, I played like 8 or 9 games total. But it was, like I said, I enjoyed that. And I think that is a way to kind of keep fresh. You know what I mean? You're still playing paintball. You're still practicing. And you can kind of maybe see, like, if you have new people coming in or out, because it's an off season, people might be trying different fields. You can say, oh, hey, these players are good. Let's try to pull them in. Or, hey, these players could be good. Let's teach them the proper way to do it. That's kind of where I land, which normally I feel like we take almost a full month off. We might play once in December, and that was always about it. But, I mean, so far this year, I mean, we've played the 2 weekends after Cup. This weekend coming up will be the 3rd. I'm sure there's going to be a mix of people out there. Like, I mean, it's like a relaxed time, but also still kind of keep fresh. I mean, you don't want to take a whole month off like we had done for 15 years, but this is what we're doing now, in my opinion, I think is the better way to do it. It might not necessarily be the correct way to do it.
Yeah,
I'm sure. It's hard to, you know what I mean? It's really hard to say the best way.
I like the way we did it. And I said the same thing. I always felt like the practices, every practice, unless it's a scrimmage day, every practice, we should mix everybody together. And then about halfway through the day, maybe a little bit towards the end, you play the last 2 sets with your designated line.
Yeah.
Right. So you should play with everybody, mix everybody up, and play 6 to 8 points. And then you play the last 4 points with your dedicated, like, legit line, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a solid probably 10 D4 guys, and then we have a D5 line, and then we have a bunch of like D6 guys, and then like a bunch of walk-ons that are ranged from D4 to D5.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard for the walk-ons to either play against a full line, when they're playing against, they have a D4 guy, 2 D5 guys, a random D4 to a D6 guy. You're going to get ran over, right?
Yep.
So mixing everybody up to keep the teams as even as possible. I think everybody has a lot more fun that way, and they learn a lot better too, because you're playing with different style players and different ways of communicating and everything. I think it's a lot better. I think that we should do that more often. Like this weekend, Tyler brung down.
Is that from A4?
5 guys from Charleston.
Okay.
And they were all from a little bit from different teams. A couple guys from A43, I think 2 guys from GLK. So that he brought a mixture of guys that he's like just been messing around with, and just friends. I think they're all just friends, and brought them out. And when we think we played 3 points or 4 points against them with our main line, and then I think I jumped on and took 2D5 guys, a D6 guy, and then like Payne and somebody else, and we played them twice. And then I try to like mix everybody up against them, so they were getting random looks from D6, D5, D6 guys, D4, D5 guys, and then some D3, D4 guys. They were getting a mix of a little bit of everybody, just to kind of give everybody a little bit of taste of what was going on. What do you feel like? Going back to the preparation thing, I know we do a big team meeting, and we have one coming up in 2 weeks. We'll do like a party/team meeting where we're going to sit down.
Yeah.
Do you think that's necessary?
Yes, for every team? 1,000. Okay, well, hold on. For anybody that has a significant amount of players that could have more than one line, I think if you have legitly 7 or 8 people and you don't think anyone's leaving and you don't think any new people are coming in, I don't think it's needed. But if you have where you could have multiple teams ranging, you might have 2 or 3 D4 teams, 2 or 3 D5 teams, where you're running some sort of, I hate to use the word camp for us, or organization, because we're
pretty close.
We're very small. Yeah, that's our issue. If we're a camp, we're a self-funded camp or a self-funded organization. But we have the numbers to be an organization or a camp. But you definitely need to have some sort of meeting so you can either figure out if you're going to have how many teams you're going to have, how many players. Because if you have 30 players, let's say, you probably only really have 20. Me and you both know 10 people are going to drop for a fucking million reasons, which I don't ever want to happen.
Committed 2020.
Hashtag committed 2020. But you just never, you don't know what's going to happen. There's so many things, and people are going to come and go. And you need to know that your main line or whatever, all of them should be main lines in my opinion, but the people that are going to be on those designated teams need to be the players that you are like 90% sure are going to stick around for a full season. If people are like, oh, I don't think I can do a full season, or I'm not planning on doing a full season, then just have them there and at the practices and maybe play one event or 2 events that they can, but take someone's spot who might have to miss one event or something like that. That's how I think is a good way to handle it, in my opinion. But it's, again, it just depends. Like if you are one team, I don't think you need a team meeting. I mean, you should, in my opinion. I consider my teammates my friends. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that because we've all known each other for some. I mean, right. I would say 80% of the people I play with, there's someone that I'm like, well, I mean, hey, it is what it is type thing. But yeah, I mean, that's how I handle it. I think this year we're doing better than we normally have, but I also think that stems from the end of last season. We started doing it the better way. But again, that all comes from for years and years, we actually never had a field, really. You know what I mean? And now we finally have an actual – the last 3 years we've actually had a real field to play on. But this year we have probably one of the – I'd probably say the best field in Georgia, but that might piss some people off. But I'm going to go ahead and claim it.
Yeah, I don't really know any other fields that are as good as ours, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, there's some – there are good fields, but we might have the best airball field.
Yeah, so. I don't really – yeah. I mean, I don't play as much on the rec side, but I hear like – they have one of the best rec fields too, honestly.
I mean, the only other airball field, because old Nitro is closing down still. They keep getting extended, but everyone knows that that'll be closing. It's probably Big Indian.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably no other airball field in the state that's good.
Dwayne is who owns Big Indian.
Yep.
He has a very nice setup out there.
Yes, he does. Yep.
And one thing I wish we had that he has is the overhang of the giant carport.
Yep.
It's
pretty big.
Man. It's like 40 foot wide, maybe probably more than that. Maybe 50 foot wide, like 200 foot long. It's almost probably 200 foot. Sorry, it's about half a field. So I'd say like it's like 50 foot wide and like 80 to 100 foot long. Then I love the connecting bridge up on top that connects the 2 fields that you can go up the top and watch. I think his is a great place. I think he has probably the best
field setup, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for spectators and for players, because What was Wes was
we
describing?
are severely lacking. Like
Yes.
ours is a strictly because right now, you know, we're building the
Yeah.
staging areas and all that kind of stuff. Like as far as a player field, I think, you know, there is none
Yeah.
better. So he's the only field I think anywhere near us that has a nice area, but it just sucks because like he doesn't have a team there really. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There is no team. There's a bunch of guys
Good.
that used to play a long
Good
time ago that
players,
kind
but
of still mix up and play there. And then every now and then Nitro Army will go out there a little bit, but I think they're mixed up between up north by Nitro
yeah.
and like down here. So you know
I don't know
it's
what's gonna happen when Nitro is officially closed. I imagine they're
now
not
I
go.
heard that Mario, the owner of Nitro,
Mhm.
has already purchased 27 acres.
Okay.
So that's right. That's what I heard. I heard it's kind of on the hush hush, but they said he's already purchased the land. But they're extended the field a little bit longer to them because they can't. The people who own the current land at in Nitro
Nitro. Yeah.
aren't going to do anything onto it until like January. So they're
Okay.
extended it until like the end of the year. So I think he has until then, and they're going to close it down, which is good. Like I'm glad that place is closed down, and he can get another field going because I
Yeah.
think his biggest problem, and to be honest, I've heard nothing but great things about Mario, and I've never had an issue with him. Is
Yep.
that fucking field was so terrible?
Yep.
Like it is legit like playing on concrete. That's how bad it is.
Yep.
But and it's so crazy because Atlanta has such a, and I've never understood this. Atlanta has such a great draw of players and talent, but they've never had. Back in the day, there was Dozer. I think I played at Dozer. That was like
Yeah.
somewhere up in that area.
Yeah. That was under a car. Like it was had an overhang over it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they had an indoor rec field, but the outdoor field was like fucking concrete too, man. It's like North Georgia, like is that clay style concrete, and it just like fucking
Yeah.
trashes your gear. It like hurts your body. I'm like, man, I'm like old now. I like soft grass, and that's why I love like when we scrimmage. I love Big Indian. I love Bayside. I
Yep.
love those fields because they're thick. The grass is great. The dirt and like the everything is soft. Like you
Yep.
dive, it's like cushion. You know what I
And
mean?
then the grass doesn't get ripped out because it's
Yes,
actual good. Whatever type of grass they use is
legit.
perfect in those
Yeah,
places.
but man, Mario's field is just so shit.
Yeah.
Speedball wise,
Yep.
I don't really know. I haven't really played nothing else, so I don't know how the rest of it is. But
Yeah.
man, speedball wise, it is like you can like on the videos you'll see it's just hard pack. It's like on the side of a hill, so it's just super hard packed down clay.
Yep.
It is just like, geez, there's no diving and sliding.
And getting to it is a pain.
Yes, I always hated practices aren't that bad, but events and stuff like that, you had to drive down this big hill and then unload the car
Yeah.
and then drive your car back to the top of the hill, which is probably about it's like quarter. I think I don't know.
It's a couple hundred feet. Yeah. I mean,
right more than that.
you think?
It's up a hill.
I mean, it's up a hill. Yeah.
So, but I'm hoping he's moving to somewhere that has a lot better area because Atlanta could thrive on a really nice speedball field, a really nice area because it needs one. So we got the preparation down for next season.
Got the
That's what
prep
we feel like
down.
we're doing.
Gave some shout outs to some of these nice fields that we have in
some of these
Georgia.
nice fields. Dwayne, if you guys are in that Macon area, hit up Dwayne Wagner at Big Indian Paintball. He always hosts some little small scenario events that always have about 100, 150 people. They're always going. He does one around Christmas time. That's probably coming up.
Yeah.
He has a really pretty badass rec ball field too.
Yeah,
a really nice place.
We've played that. That's that field and Low Country and your dad's field, obviously, but are the ones I played probably the most rec ball at. And the Low Country one is always nice too, but the Big Indian is nice because it's a little more Low Country. If you want a big, massive field to play in the woods, Low Country is probably where to go because that's always fun. But if you want like a small rec ball scenario field, that would Big Indian's probably a little better because you can get lost out at Low Country.
Oh yeah,
but it's fun too.
So I didn't tell you. Speaking of rec ball, I'm going to be playing Mechanical 10-Man event this weekend.
You prick.
With the Jungle Cats. So
y'all better stomp on some people.
Well, I mean, it's not like we're going in there and playing bums. There's like,
well, I know that, but you guys also are
nothing but 10-man neck.
Yeah, I mean that's true too. But I mean, who all are you playing with?
Alex Hicks.
Okay.
David Hunley.
Yeah.
Ryan Bourne.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bunch of slouches by any means. I mean,
no.
All those players are going to be fine, and then you.
Yeah. So. Eddie Lee, Twitch. Who else?
Your boy.
I don't think anybody else that I know.
Okay. That's something that's not a crappy line. Well, you have to talk. Can you do me a favor? I'm going to say on podcast now. You got to talk to Twitch, see if we can get him on podcast after you and him play together.
Yep. I'll have to talk to him. So I'll have to see, because we're obviously a very good bunch of players.
Yeah.
But is mechanical 10-man our thing? Have we ever played together like that? No.
And are y'all going to butt heads?
Very possible.
It is very possible. Where's this at?
It is in North Carolina. It's where we played that event at, where you came.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not making that drive twice.
Yeah. So I think we play. I don't know if it's a 2-day event or a 1 day and 1 day, but it is like it goes mounds, hyperball field, and then woods ball. So you play on 3 different. This is my understanding. I'm gonna, I know they have all 3 of those fields there.
Yeah.
Remember, they had the mounds field next to the X ball field. They had the hyperball field up top by the pro field, and then they have a woods ball field out there. So they have all 3 fields. So I think that's what they're gonna do. So
if it wasn't 5 hours, I'd totally go. If it was like 3, I'd probably make the drive up there, but I'm not doing that again.
Bum.
Yeah, I know. I already did it once for you guys.
Just come on up, dude. Just ride with us.
Oh, no. I got stuff to do Saturday.
You got nothing better to do.
So, yeah, I do. So, did you have another topic? If not, I got one. If you
okay,
you want.
Go let it rip.
So, obviously, okay, you've been around the sport longer than I have. I think I actually say that a lot when I bring up these topics. How has the style of gear people changed over the years? Like, what do you think about? Because obviously, it was super baggy, and then it stayed. All the gear was baggy for years. And now everything is like way more slimline. Do you think it's better being slimlined, or did you like the bagginess of everything?
I'm in the middle. I like like not baggy stuff, but like not super skin tight stuff. I like right in between. I like where it's loose on me, but it's like it is slim fitting.
Yeah.
I think first of all, I think it looks a lot more quote unquote professional.
I would agree.
Like has a better presence as anywhere, but also like the whole giant big bagginess, it just looks sloppy.
It does.
It looks like shit. Now when you look back at like old videos,
I
guys
agree.
run around with like neck pants on, they just look like shit. And I think finally fashion has made its way into paintball a lot more. Because fashion was the opposite way in paintball.
Oh, you wanted to look tacky as hell back in the day.
Yes, paintball was like fashion was like looking quote unquote ag. You gotta look ag. But ag was like big baggy XXX jerseys and like 4 sandana beanies with like 3 headbands and just like gigantic fucking pants. And now it's like I want a sandana headband, like an OG 10 ounce.
Yep.
I want some like maybe some like dope ass old jersey, right? Yeah. But I want some nice ass joggers or some like carbon like slim fit pants, something like looks good, but you like that's basically what it is, how it is now. Like you kind of want to look clean. You still want to look clean. Yeah. You don't want to look like a bum, because back in like 5 to 8 years ago, you still want to look like a bum.
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean. Like it's relatively recent. It was 10 to 15 years. I mean, I go look at my old pants, and I had my red, white, and blue Captain America Empire pants. Those weren't super baggy, but they were so padded. There was padding everywhere on those things. And then it was like I moved to some JTs, which were pretty baggy, but they only had padding in the knees. And they were the new style JTs. They weren't the ones that everybody liked. So they were a little slimmer. But other than that, all my other pants are super fucking baggy. And I'm like, I mean, it's what I had for years, so it didn't look bad at the time because everybody was doing it. But now it's like I also play in a pair of joggers, and and they make me feel faster, which obviously probably isn't true, but I feel like I got less drag between my legs when I'm like moving. And I'm like, I don't know how true that actually is. I'm not gonna let y'all clock me either way. I don't want to know the speed of that. So
The turtle just going,
Yes.
he's crawling.
At least his pants look fucking good.
When's he gonna run? No. He's already running. He's full speed.
That's the best thing about being slow as fuck, though. I'm full speed 3 steps in. Like,
yeah.
Actually, I'm full speed like 2 steps in. So.
Yeah, I tried to explain that to Frank this week. So I seen him running to the ice on the break, which I got on his ass about. And I'm like, why are you going to the ice? Why not pull up to the fire?
Yeah.
Or you can go to the god, but dive at the fire and then just crawl to the god. It's the same run, but actually shorter.
Yeah.
And it's more of a risk going to the ice. Well, Frank, as we all love Frank, he is slower than a fucking box of rock. Yes. I am 100% honest when I say that I feel that I could run backwards faster than he can run forwards. To that, I think I can beat him running backwards to the ice than he can run full sprint. And I said, "Why are you going to the ice?" And he said, "Well, if I take a longer run, I get top speed out there." And I'm like, "Bruh, we need top speed back here." I'm like,
yeah.
I don't need you at top speed when you're getting to the bunker. I need you top speed before you're even like a third of the way there.
That's funny.
I'm like, Jesus. So I was telling him, he's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm like, Jesus.
Shane was telling me, so Frank was there the weekend after Cup.
Yeah.
Shane said they not raced, but both went to the bunker. Shane said he was beating him into the snake. I wasn't there, so I can't confirm or deny. But Shane was like, I am letting you. Because Shane's like, I'm not as fast as I used to be. He goes, I'm pretty slow. He goes, but I'm pretty sure I was beating Frank into the snake. And I think Jamie was like, yeah, he was. And I'm like, God dang it, Frank. Like, you are so small. Like, he is. He looks fast.
Frank's like literally like 5'9", 5'10", 140 pounds. Yeah. Frank should be fucking flying.
Yeah.
Like riding. Like,
But he does smart plays once he gets in. He's just He's just like
Jesus. I don't know. I'm at the teach him.
It's almost the exact opposite. Did you know Andrew Laughlin?
Yes.
He played with us when I think you were in Texas at the time.
Texas. I came back to Jacksonville and played with him.
Yes, that time. And my dad, he went one time to watch us play at Will's in Jacksonville. And I told Dad, I was like, watch how fast he is. I was like, because he's not a small dude. He wasn't super tall. He's just a little bit of a bigger guy. But he was damn near as fast as your brother. And my dad was like, holy fuck. I'm like, yeah. I was like, he just got wheels. Like, he is just quick as shit. But
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's size does that, man. People let that call them out, but it's funny.
Yeah, you just gotta be sneaky. Don't be fast, be sneaky. That's my whole game plan now. I just creep around. And Jamie says I'm not as slow as I think I am, but I'm like, dude, I'm pretty fucking slow. I'm like, I don't know. He always goes, no, you're faster than you think. I'm like, if you say so, Jamie. Thanks for the compliment, you lying piece of shit. But that's funny. Do you have anything else?
I think that's it, man.
We're about 30 minutes in, maybe a little longer.
Yeah, probably a little longer. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that was a good short one. It's kind of off season. Some of these topics are a little harder to come up with than they normally are. But you have anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, Carson, you're fucking dog shit.
There we go. That's what I needed.
Yeah, Carson, you're dog shit. We're going on 2 weeks now. You still haven't been out to practice. You're a fucking bum.
After winning 2 games at Cup.
Huh?
After winning 2 games at Cup.
Yeah, 2.
He killed 6 guys.
Crazy. I think those are my exact words. I said, "You come out this weekend?" And he said, "No, my assistant, the assistant got corona for the 13th time, and he can't come out." And I said, "Damn, 2 weeks after that amazing performance you guys had at Cup, I figured you'd be out here just drilling your ass off and playing points as much as you can to get rid of that lackluster taste you had in your mouth." And he's like, "Why do you hate me?" So,
good thing Carson's a good sport.
Yes. I shit on him a lot, but
yeah, he takes it well. Some people don't take it that well.
Yes.
Some people take it to heart.
So you missed some good points at the end of the day, but one of the points I played with me, Joey, Ryan, Payne, and Kevin. And we played against Charleston guys. And second point, I said, all right, cool. We're going to try something. I said, we're going to send you to their brick on the break, run up, just full speed, get there, and then go right to the snake side.
Was that Ryan or Joey?
Joey. And he looked at me and he's like, really? I said, yeah, just don't even shoot just fly as fast as you can, run at ours, run around, die, get into their brick, and then just lock the snake and wait for him to come. And he does, and he melts the dude going to the fire, and then he melts the guy going to the corner, and he's screaming at get the guy out in the corner. He's hitting his pack, in which they were coming to pull the guy out in this pack. The guy didn't know yet. Well, Joey gets so in his emotions, he literally on that brick decides to go fucking run the corner, the back right corner down the bunker
from like their 30.
Yes, not thinking that there's 3 other guys on the fucking field. So he shoots the guy going to the fire, playing his day, and then shoots the guy going to the corner. And he yells for the paint check, and the ref is going in, and he's like yelling. Well, instead of just sitting back and just waiting for the ref to pull him out, he's like, and just takes off to go bunker the guy, and then he gets melted because he didn't get a step around the brick and just got melted, right? And then the guy in the corner just walks off because he was hit.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning the point, and Joey's like all pumped up. And I'm like, everybody's like, dude, that's a great job, and they're all giving him like congratulations, and I'm like, come here. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Before the game started, I said, you're going to win this point or you're going to lose this point. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, because you can go up in here and shoot 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking people out and they don't know you're here. And he's like, okay. And I said, this is whole point's on you right here. You know what I mean? And he's like, all right. So he does that. And then he comes off. Granted, he shot 2 people. And they're like, the rest of the team, like the other guys from Charleston are like all giving him his props and stuff. And I was like, you know, you fucked up, right? He's like, kind of, yeah. I'm like, you went to go run down the back right when you didn't even clear the center, the home, or anything on the left.
Yeah.
I said, you literally could have shot the guy in the back right and just wrapped that brick and probably shot all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, he probably could have either wrapped, if he would have popped the top, he probably would have put the one guy in and then he could have wrapped on him and definitely shot.
Well, they didn't know
1 or 2 more guys. Oh, they still didn't know. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was early. This is like 5 seconds in the game.
Okay.
I'm like, you listen. I'm like, and then he was like, oh, kind of calming down. I'm like, you see what happens when you listen? And
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm like, you literally could have got a 5-pack and ended your day with like a 5-pack and walked off. And I said, and as much as that move looks badass and you shot 2, I'm like, that ain't shit to me. I'm like, you could have shot the entire fucking team.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, and been a hero walking off with 5 guys. He's like,
he could at minimum he could have took 1 more. You know what I mean? If he would have gotten a gunfight, traded with the guy or something. Yeah.
Yes. And I said, just keep in mind, you make a big move, like you have big shots. Just think about this. Like your body's not worth running and throw it away. I'm like, on a guy that they were getting checked, you know what I mean? Just like calm down. He's like, okay. So he took it in. I'm like, you could have really damaged them.
That's good for him too.
Yeah, I'm like, he's just kind of like sitting back. I think he like finally realized like there's more to the game than just going to the bunker and just like, you know, like you have a job. I gave him a job. I'm like, you go here, you watch this to this. When you shoot this guy, you watch this, you shoot that guy. I'm like, and then if they go to the X, or I said if you get there and you shoot the snake and you hear X, just go dunk the X.
Yeah.
And they didn't have X, but I'm like, you have to relax. You know what I mean? Like you have to get up in there and play your zone, play smart, get your kills, and just relax.
Yeah.
So I think he took that in. I was like, okay, like, you know,
that's something I've been telling him too. I'm like Joey. I was like, you have to do just your job. Don't try to do everybody else's job on the field. You're told to do this. That's what you go do. If that game plan doesn't work out, then it just wasn't the right game plan for the team you're playing. That's all it is. It doesn't mean you played bad. It just means the play call wasn't right.
The other 4 guys have jobs that they have to do, and they're also depending on you doing your job.
Yep.
If everybody goes to their bunkers and does their job, you'll win the game, right? But if you go to your bunker and you don't do your job and you decide to do something else or try to help somebody else with their job, then your assignment is blown, right? And the guy you're supposed to be watching in the snake goes into the Viper and shoots you in the side and shoots all of us in the back.
Yep.
Right?
That's good advice for any team.
Yeah.
I mean,
like you just have
no matter what
do what you're
fucking
told.
level you put. Do what you're told.
And if it doesn't work out, it's not on you because you went there and you did what you were told. So if the game plan doesn't work out, it's on your coach or whoever asked you to go do that job, right?
Yep.
So just go like, I was told to go here, watch this. That's what I did. And, you know, it just didn't work out.
Yep.
And everybody's going to understand.
No, I completely agree. But I like it. I kind of pissed I missed that point.
Yeah, it was good. We had a good little point. I played with Ryan on that 3 side, the very first point.
Yeah.
He's coming around really well.
Yeah, he is.
Listening and really talking. Me and him pushed the Dorito side. I think went 300 on the break or 200. I went 200 on the break and then wrapped.
Ryan he's probably listening to the podcast. So
yeah, he had the other force. Now
he
has
have a
the
blue
Lux.
jersey on.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Long hair.
Yep.
Yeah, he played with me on Dorito side both points. Listened, communicated, shot what I told him to shoot, and shot a couple guys actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely played well and was listening to calls and communicating back and forth. So I think he needs more practice. I don't think he plays as much as everybody else plays.
Yeah.
So I think when he gets some playing under his belt, a little bit more playing, I think he's going to come around very fast. So
I know Joey. He when one of the games I was playing, he so I believe it was Ryan. He was at like our danger or something, and Jamie called it. It was me and Jamie. It was a 2-on-3. It was me and Jamie versus I believe Ryan, Courtney, Joey. Oh, they had one other guy in the snake too. So it was a 2-on-4. And I had heard the danger call, so I actually gave it the danger. And I was like, you know what? I was like, the X can't see me. I can see the peripheral of the snake, but I'm going to post on Joey. I was like, because Jamie's going to shoot this danger. Joey's going to make the smart play and fill it. I was like, but I'm posted waiting for him to make that fill. And I was like, it'll turn this into a 2-on-2 instantly. And Jamie did. Jamie shoots him. Kid walks out. I blasted the fuck out of Joey. Then Jamie traded with the snake guy. And then it turned, I didn't know Jamie traded with the snake guy. I thought he got shot by the snake guy. And I leaned out and got in a quick gunfight with your wife. She didn't know I was there. She actually did. She missed her first 3 shots.
She was mad because she came off and she was like, I fucking broke paint. And I got it. And I'm like, and she was like, I would have fucking shot him. He was standing in the open.
Yeah,
he
didn't
see me.
Because I was looking for the snake guy. I didn't know she was still there. And then I went, ooh, I ducked right on in and I leaned back out and I blasted her. And then I popped the top, like waiting for the snake guy to shoot at me. And I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? So I'm like slowly walking on the field going, is this guy going to shoot me in the back? Like, I didn't realize, because I saw Jamie dead.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to there being 48 people on the sidelines. So I'm going, I don't know who we were playing. I can't see the body. But yeah, she did. I didn't realize she broke. I was just like, 2 balls hit the bunker. And I was just like, oh, she whiffed it. And I just back out and got in a. Like,
she was standing in the wide open.
Oh, I was. Yeah, it was bigger shit. I was moving from the baby to like the 300, I guess. 200, yeah. And I was just like, as soon I heard the shots and then saw her because she was actually going to wrap towards Jamie too. She didn't know Jamie had died, and then she turned back to come shoot at me. Yeah. And that's when I basically was doing the same thing. I was like, didn't know where she was and looked like this, and I was like, oh fuck, and I just didn't shoot. I just went in, and I was like, I'm gonna go in and come the top, and got lucky.
And she thought, I said, well, how come you didn't come back to the left side of the bunker? And she's like, there was somebody else. I'm like, no, it was a 1-on-1.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Both you guys thought.
We thought we both thought we were in 2-on-1s. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I thought I actually, like I said, I knew it was either a 2-on-1 or a 1-on-1, but I was pretty confident I was actually in a 1-on-1 with the snake guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jamie, I hadn't heard Courtney in a while. I knew she was there for a while, and she couldn't see me when I was posted on Joey earlier. And then, I don't know, it was a good little point. Made me feel good because I shot Hayden off break, then Joey, then Courtney, and then Jamie killed the other 2. So I was like, oh, this is good for not playing it about a month and a half. Yeah. But all right, I'll close this bad boy out after we told some stories there at the end. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to check out the merchandise, the social medias. Super glad people listened, considering we missed a week and it was Thanksgiving. Still had great numbers this week. So thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Later.